Hi guys, welcome to Tarot for Tired People, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today I want to talk about the overwhelm that so many of us are feeling, globally or personally. There's just so much coming at us that it can feel like it's leaving me feeling very mentally foggy and emotionally drained. This overwhelm, I kind of am trying to tackle in two ways. And this is why this curation, because a part of it is the part where decks help me calm down. And there's the other part, which is where I want, you know, clarity. I want a torchlight through the fog. Today's curation is going to hold both and a wild card, but we'll see. These are the decks that I reach for in times of extreme overwhelm. And if you're curious to know, this is Aqua Oud by Poke Sense. Now, this is one of my favorite scents by them, and I try not to use this a lot. I have like 4 sticks left, but today's video needs it. So let's get on with it. So the first deck that I have is my Gentle Landing Pad. This is the Gentle Tarot. It's an indie deck, and I think everyone, anyway, knows about this, but I use it in times of overwhelm or anxiety, or, these are the times I reach out for it because I feel it is so gentle. Of course, it stands by its name. And it's a deck that helps me. It holds me, it doesn't push me extra. It's what I need when I want to be held and not pushed. And let's just go through this faster, right? And I just love the fact I actually love these borders. I just think it adds this colorful element to it. And it's a bit whimsical. It has a little bit of animals. It's got the illustration that's a little childlike. It speaks so well. It's a thoughtful deck. Like I've always said, the Empress card and the Star card just really, really, like this is so hope and healing, but by the seaside. So it's also so calm. I absolutely adore this deck. Like look at that Strength card, right? It's just so beautiful. I'm really glad she has a new version on Kickstarter, but I like this. I like the colorful borders of this one. The next deck we have in my list of decks that help me navigate when I am overwhelmed is the Dark Mansion Tarot. This is actually one of my most favorite decks. This is playful, but it's such a sharp reader. There is so much to see, but it doesn't overwhelm. It's like going through a storybook, and yet it reads really, really well. It kind of can handle heavy topics without losing the depth. So it's like speaking to a witty friend who shows you, not like a super serious one, but you're talking about heavy topics. You have the Judgment card that is not very judgy. It has a skeleton party, even the Ten of Swords, like this card can be quite triggering if you're overwhelmed, but it somehow still, like, it just doesn't do that. And then you have, like, look at the Nine of Swords. Yes, it's overwhelming, but you have like a fairy tale feeling to it. And everything else, like the happy cards that this one has. Like, I love the Nine of Swords because it shows like this guy is ready to defend his house or castle. And it's not like so much wounded soldier, but more resilience. And like the moon has her, she's not wearing a blindfold, and I like that. Like this one I constantly reach out to during these times of feeling like the world is too much and there's way too much happening in my personal life. I think everything happens together. You talk to people, like look at this Empress card. It has the wheat, but she's also like an empress. So yeah, I just feel like I have been reaching out to this one quite a bit this month around this time, and any time actually that I feel too much, this one gets into my little basket of help me go through, navigate this. It's such a pretty deck, honestly. So the next deck we have, the Tarot de Luz. This is a mass market deck. I've spoken about this a lot on my channels before because I do love this deck. It's so nice and it's perfect for times like this. This deck is what I'd call my quiet light. It is gentle, but it speaks it doesn't. Oh, great. Why am I all my decks like this? Do people fix their decks before showing it? I guess. Anyway, um, it has that spiritual softness that reminds me to pause and kind of recenter. And it's perfect for those moments when I want messages to come through gently, but with direction. So think of it as gentle tarot, but a little more level of bluntness. Like, okay, I am now kind of centered. Tell me what's going on. I'm starting to form some questions. Like, I always find this Nine of Cups hilarious. It's such a hilarious card in this one, but it reads well. It's kind of blunt. It tells you things, but not super blunt. Like, if you get me, if gentle tarot is on the scale of gentleness, like 10 being most gentle, this one's a 5. So you have to be kind of ready for it. So the tower is still not broken. Vines are coming out of it. So you're not triggered. It has a playful, art. And I think these decks are really nice. Like the packaging gets destroyed in a month, but the deck by itself, I think printing, etc., is so nice. But the color palette is still quite calming, but the energy is not about calmness and everything is great. The energy is, let's get talking. Let's go through this fog and dismantle it and help you understand and start giving you answers. So that's the Tarot de Luz mass market, but definitely the third deck that I would reach out to when in times of overwhelm. Now, the fourth deck that I have been reaching out to in these times is actually a deck that was already on my September intentions, and it's the Mindscapes Tarot. It has been really helpful during these times, and I feel like I don't reach out to it to answer questions that I have, but more to just sit with, you know? It is just perfect to sit with. I use it at nighttime. It's very calming. Like the imagery of Mindscapes is really nice to calm you down. There's nothing that triggers. And the thing about Mindscapes, I think it has a very personal relationship with different people on how you read it, because you're not necessarily going to look at Two of Branches and think about Two of Wands. It just, for me, doesn't happen. When I get Two of Branches, I literally think about this field with these growing trees. And it has I wish I could express it better, but when I see Queen of Stones, I don't think of Queen of Pentacles and what the essence of that meaning is, but more I see this ornate, house. I feel the abundance of this mansion or castle, but with a feminine touch. So, and because each of the suits have a grading of imagery, which if you have this deck, you will see. Um, it's all mixed up for me to show you, but basically the landscape sort of changes across the suit. So then by the time you're at Queen of Stones, it makes sense that the city is built, and this is the castle or the palace where the queen sits. So same with Six of Tides. When I see Six of Tides, it doesn't remind me of Six of Cups, but of this vastness where you're not alone. There is someone with you. You have someone sailing with you. So you kind of stay on the same, like Eight of Stones has this man working and paving this road. There is nothing beyond where he's paving. So the city is still getting built, but you don't necessarily, I don't think of Eight of Pentacles. So it's really, really nice because it reminds me, it helps me get lost in the imagery and the artwork. And I feel like, yes, at the time it released, everyone was talking about it, but it's a lot, it's a bit underrated, even though it's quite popular. This deck has really been a support for me. Sorry, I'm going to go faster. Like Three of Swords is not triggering. It's a bridge that's broken, but it could be built again, So it's a very hopeful deck. Like it's super hopeful. And like the Eight of Branches, which is Eight of Wands, has all these sprouting seedlings. And you saw how slow I got with this, because this is how I am when I sit with it. It just slows me down and it really calms me down. And I can sit and look at what's going on. Like Eight of Tides, which is actually Eight of Wands, has all of these things happening. Like the Fool card, of course, is amazing. I know like that some people have Majestical, some people have Tarot of Landscapes, but this one, Energy Imprint, is like the Wheel of Fortune I love. It's so beautiful. And this card has been stalking me. I'm going through some, transformation, etc. Karmically, I feel. this Wheel of Fortune card is just unreal. Like the Hermit, just like the High Priestess was in a tent that you could go into to, know about yourself. The Hermit is in a cave. So I love that the Death card is literally nature reclaiming a battlefield. You see the little cemeteries. So yeah, you can spend hours. Like I love that the Ten of Wands here, like in the guidebook, I have reached out to the guidebook for this particular card, and it said that there it's a huge dense forest, but the sun can still see through. But when I see Ten of Branches, I don't even think about Ten of Wands. I just think about this lush green forest that could be scary, but it's everyone together. It's you're carrying all of that. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but this deck has been incredible for me around this time. Like it's an overwhelming time. A lot is going on in the world. A lot is going on in my life personally. Um, you know, I just think the amount of information or things that are happening, everything is on the precipice of anything can happen, right? And this is just an incredible deck for that. I'm really glad I chose it as part of my September decks. So let's move on. So the last deck that has been my constant companion at this time is the Thoth. And I don't know how you pronounce it. Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. But this deck, my God, guys, I don't know. I've had it for a while, but it's just been incredible at this time. I think I finally understood and tapped into its energy. This is where I go because like I've centered with those decks. I've understood. I'm ready, and I'm quite a self aware person. So this deck for me, sorry, yeah, this deck for me is when I want a no filter guide that cuts through my own mental clutter, and I don't want sugar coated answers that everything is going to be all right. I want to know, what's going on. And I know I have the small deck, and because I wasn't necessarily reaching out to it as much as, it wasn't one of my top decks. Let's put it this way. I've already ordered the premier edition because I want many backups of this. Not backup. I'm not a backup girl, but I just feel like I want to delve more into this. It is just such an incredible deck. And the energy imprint of it is so clear. It's so calm. Like, yes, that is the ruin card, but it is just so calm. And um, the colors, I've been getting a lot of Queen of Wands from this deck. And if it comes up, it has the Queen of Wands has this power in it, It's got the red, it's got the power, there is just this deck really changed my how I approach overwhelm through tarot. And it has added that because I was also seeking certain answers. Like I was ready for a doom and gloom. And I didn't want to hear just, oh, everything is great. I wanted real answers from my higher self or spirit or whatever you want to call it. And when I say answers, I didn't have specific questions. So it's not more about accuracy as much as really translating the mental clutter and breaking it down. And I find, and there are decks or languages like, say, the Thoth, which in my head, oh, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I have to do years of study. But one day, just like how tarot did for me, one day it's going to want to speak to you. And that day, that's the thing about spiritual tools, you will understand it without actually having studied it for years, just because it wants you to understand it. I don't know how to explain that, right? But that is how tarot was for me. I got this from inside of seeking it out. And it was just very easy for me to understand it. My readings were just automatically accurate. It just became a form of healing without having to struggle with it like somebody else would. Like, and that's fine because there are other things where I have struggled and like maths, where it takes me a lot to understand. But this particular system is also like that. Like I shouldn't say tarot. I meant in general tarot or RWS. But the thought system was like that. I always have that imposter syndrome. I don't know. I'm not gonna get it. But this one really opened up and said, "I will show you. I will show you. I'll be the light in your dark tunnel, and I will take you through it." And ever since that, I don't end the night without this. It is just at least once in the day I will reach out to it. I don't know how it's gonna be when I'm in super clear waters, but right now it's definitely holding my hand with steady hands. I find it a very steady energy that literally tells me what I'm feeling and how to transmute that feeling like into what it should be. Let me explain and take a little bit of time with this. And please, like, I know I'm not saying it because I get really taken in by the cards, but you guys have to let me know, yeah, what are the decks you use for this, or if any of this makes sense to you. But let's keep the Sun card and let me explain what I mean. Or no, um, okay, we can take Disappointment as Five of Cups. I would get like always in readings, like two cards like this of what I'm feeling. And one of the cards I'd immediately be like, okay, I understand this because I'm feeling it around something that's happening. And then there'd always be a card around that will show how to transmute that. Um, I think I'm getting to it, but maybe I'm not. But yeah, so this is definitely one of those decks. I know I got lost in it, but that because of which I made this video. Because it was so helpful after sitting for eons on my shelf and just casually me going through it. The way it connected to me this month with everything that's going on, I was just like, I need to make this video because I think other people might be feeling it too. And if someone is, I hope it helps them. So please do leave a comment, and I'd like the likes so that it reaches someone else that might be feeling like this. And yeah, please do comment and let me know if any of these decks you use for times of overwhelm that makes sense to you. As always, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys. Thank you for being part of this. Bye.